Is this on? Okay. So, hello. So, I'm the only thing between you and your weekend, right? Do you guys want to come over here? And do you guys want to come over here? Because it'll save me having to do this, if you don't mind. Yeah, there's warmth in being together. Be together, people. Okay, so I'm Sonia, and I'm a failure activist, and I'll be speaking a little bit about failure. So why me? Well, first of all, because I'm human, right? And second of all, exactly because of what was said. In 2012, I founded an event on failure that failed. So I now have, exactly, the face that you made, that's it. I have the best icebreaker ever. Whenever I introduce myself to someone, I say, I'm Sonia, and I founded an event on failure, and it failed, and people instantaneously love me. I don't know why. So I'm very proud of that achievement, and it must have been because of that achievement that the organization and Luis talked to me to be able to be here today. And he was explaining, we were talking on the phone, and he was explaining to me that this conference is magnificent and everything is really great and everything goes really well and nothing ever fails. He wasn't saying that, but anyway. And he was telling me all these great things about the conference, and I wasn't understanding why he would want me, you know, a failure activist, to come here and speak. So I asked him, and I said, well, do you know what my thing is? He said, yes, I do. I said, all right, fine. And then he gave me worse news. He said that the theme was going to be this one. So basically, the only areas in which I thought that failure was not applicable were the areas that Luis wanted me to speak about. So I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. Also, I do not have a speech impediment. Okay, this is called the Australian accent. This is how, like Crocodile Dundee, do you know? So I talk like Crocodile Dundee. I'm sorry for that. If there is anything that you do not understand, raise your hand and I'll just repeat what I said louder. That's how you fix, okay? That's all. So how does this work? Next, probably. Where do I point? Here? Okay. I think that the main reason that I'm here today, and I think that's what, wait, it wasn't supposed to. It's okay. I think that the main reason that Luis wanted me to be here today was to probably give people a little bit of peace of mind in terms of what failure represents and what it is. Maybe to give you a little bit of a breather. Do you know what a breather is? To help you breathe a little bit easier. Because, as they say, failure is actually always an option, even if you don't believe it. Okay, let's start. When cultures collide. So culture has been a really important theme today, during the day, I'm sure, and you've certainly spoken a lot about it. I am not a believer that cultures fail. We fail cultures, and I'll give you a simple example. How many of you, when you travel abroad to another country, take the time to figure out what their culture is, what their traditions are, how to say hello, how to say thank you, how to say what time is it, how to say how do I get to the museum, how to say all those basic stuff. How many of us, when we travel abroad, and we can see that by the tourists that come to Portugal, how many of us, when we travel abroad, take that time to respect others' culture? Do we bring anything back? Not really. Photos, selfies, and stuff like that, and maybe some Starbucks coffee. It's the same all over the world. So, cultures don't fail. We fail cultures. I got that out of the way. Can art ever be bad? So you'd think that because it's such a subjective thing, every time someone comes in, I'm starting over. That's it. Every time someone comes in late, I'm going to start again. We'll be here until tomorrow. I like to make people uncomfortable. Okay, can art ever be bad? So you'd think because it's so subjective that no, of course not. Art is art. And I'm sure that today, during the day, you have spoken a lot about art and artificial intelligence and how it's applicable to the human life experience and all that, and technology. So, Museum of Bad Art. Welcome to the progressive world we have nowadays. It's MoMA. And they have something which is really cool. And if you get the dad joke, portraits. Do you get it? Portraits. And then they have Face It, people are not easy, Face It. All right. So this is a museum of bad art. And It's not bad art because it's ugly or because it's not well drawn. It's bad art because there was something along the way failed, but the person that failed, the artist, thought they were doing everything absolutely okay. So they were genuinely being artists, but the final result was crap. So here's one of the examples, which is a raven-haired beauty with white flower. So this is one of the examples if you go to the site. It's magnificent, really great laughs. Are you reading what it says? I'm sure you are. All right. So one of the areas where I thought that failure could never be applied, art, there's a museum for that. So there goes that debunked. So surely creativity and innovation, there's absolutely no way that failure is applied to creativity and innovation. And it isn't, as long as we're applying it to the processes, as long as we're applying it to what happens before the results and before the execution, right? There's a museum for that also. So this museum is a little bit better, or at least it's a little bit more tangible. You can read that later. Because we have stuff like this. So Colgate, once upon a time, decided to launch this product. So they probably thought they'd get in on the value chain and think, since we're cleaning teeth, we'll probably help get them dirty. Do you know, that must have been what they thought. So the process, the creativity process behind this, the thinking process, the innovation process, I'm sure it was all perfect because this did get launched. But the result, it's something different. So failure, you can apply failure for a different number of reasons to results, but probably not to processes. Because if you think about it, how many dozens of people were involved in the process of getting this to market? It's creepy, yeah. No one ever said this is going to fail. But I'm sure that after it failed, heaps of people put up their hand and said it was obvious it was going to fail. Because that happens all the time. Hindsight. Hindsight gives you 20/20 vision. Be very careful when you use it. So what about technology? Well, we all know technology fails. How many tech people are here? Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry for what I'm going to say today. Okay? Okay. So technology, there are so many examples in so little time. Technology, knitting needles are technology, right? If you think about it, knitting needles are technology. So there are heaps of things that have to do with technology that we don't see as tech, okay, and that do fail. Too many examples to bring, so I brought one that I personally love. Who doesn't know this? Everybody knows this. Okay, so why is it a failure? It's not. The 40 in the name, WD-40. 40 was the amount of times they had to test the formula to get the product right. And they loved that process so much that they incorporated it into the name. That's why it's WD-40. Bet you didn't know that. See, you learned something new today. Another thing that this is really interesting with this product, it was used on airplanes, but the workers kept on stealing it and taking it home to use it at home. So the guys that made it thought, market research done, we're launching. And that's how WD-40 got to everybody's homes. Easy. From something that failed so many times, it's a worldwide success. Are we keeping up? Okay, so cultures don't fail, we fail cultures. Innovation and creativity. Also, in terms of being a process, no failure is applicable. Results, yes, Colgate, remember Colgate, very applicable. WD-40, they had to fail before they got it right. Technology is failing all the time. But the only reason they fail is so they can get an answer and so they can get to what they really want. We all might have different definitions or we all might have different ideas of what failure is. But there is one thing in common that we all have. We have an almost innate, I'd say, fear of failure. And I'll probably prove it to you in about 30 seconds. We have time. Does everybody have a pen and a paper? Everybody has a pen and a paper? Quickly, we only have 30 seconds for this. It wasn't planned. Everybody has a pen and paper? Okay. Any paper, any pen, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a tech conference, nobody brings pens. Okay, I get it. Is there one here? Okay, does everybody have a pen and paper? Use any paper, it doesn't matter. Even if it has something written on it, it doesn't matter. You can use it over. Okay, please, now, in 3 seconds, draw a key. A key. Key. Shove. A key. Has everybody drawn their key? Yes? Okay. Show everybody around you your key. Why are people laughing? You're supposed to, it's fine. Okay. One word, key, a simple object. We use it every single day. Every single person in this room has used the key for years. It is an easy concept. It is something that you touch. It is something that you feel. There is absolutely no mistaking it. A key is a key is a key. I asked you to draw one, and there are no two keys the same in this room. What does that mean? It means that everybody has their own representation of what a key is. And a key is a simple object. Now imagine failure. Imagine when I speak about failure and I say the word. Imagine how many different keys are popping up all over the place. So this is something that we must remember when we speak about this with other people, especially in the company cultures and in the business cultures. Failure might mean something to someone and mean something completely different to someone else. The only thing that we all have in common is a fear of failure. We are ashamed of it. We are scared of it. Am I allowed to swear? Can I say swear words? No? I can? Okay. We're scared shitless. Which is weird, because when we're children, we are taught, try, fail, try again. Keep on trying, keep on failing until you learn. Right? That's how we learn. The trial and the error and the trial and error method. And nobody in their right mind would ever go to a toddler, to a child, and say, you are a failure because you didn't walk when you were 1 year old. Or you are a failure because as soon as you hit 9 months, you weren't able to say your first word. Nobody would ever think of doing that. We are taught, we grow up, we learn failing. But there is one little aspect of it, at least in Portugal, that we do. What happens, what do we say? What is the first thing, or one of the first things we say to a child when they fall over, when they fail, when they mess up, when something happens that is not good, or they start crying or something? What? Really? You say that to a child? Oh my God, no, that's a bit harsh. Don't say that to a child. You'll scar them for life. No, one of the first, I'll answer the question, okay? You guys just keep... So one of the things that we first say to a child when something happens is, don't worry, nobody saw anything. Ninguém viu, right? It's the first thing we say to a child. And miraculously, it's as if it works. It's like magic. They stop crying. They don't mind that they just did something really stupid. It doesn't matter. But what we're really teaching the child is, you can fuck up all you want as long as nobody sees. So we're teaching them shame. We're teaching them to getting embarrassed about what they muck up, about what they fail, about what they don't know how to do or what they mess up. That's the first lesson that we give children. You say, you learn by failing, but as long as nobody sees, okay? And think of this in your adult life. If you fail in the desert and there's nobody around you for 1,000 kilometers, have you failed? Somewhere along the line, we are no longer forgiven for being in this process of learning and failing and trying again, because all of a sudden, it is expected that you know everything. It is expected that you no longer need to learn anything. It is expected that you have all the answers on the tip of your tongue, because otherwise, you go this, you get this. Or you get divorced, or your company goes bankrupt, or something really bad happens, like an asteroid hits Earth or something like that. So why does this happen? And why does it happen in such a short amount of time? Why are we teenagers learning how this works and all of a sudden we're in a first job getting fired because we didn't know something was supposed to be whatever? So we're not forgiven for learning? No. It's terrible. It's horrible. No wonder we fear failure. We get fired over it. This is another reason why we fear failure. The blame game. You're responsible for your successes. You are to blame for your failures. Isn't that nice? Isn't that the words that are used? When you're good, you're responsible. When you're bad, you're to blame. You're guilty. It's horrible. And we play this blame game. I'm sure that in every situation where something has gone wrong, when somebody asks, who's to blame? Nobody ever, I am. But if somebody were to say, oh, this is a magnificent result, who's responsible for this? I am. Come on. Of course we're afraid of it. We're so afraid of it that we point the finger, no problems and no questions asked. His fault. He did it, not me. No, not me. Of course we're afraid of it. This is bullshit. Who on earth would ever choose the failure road? Seriously. Why does this get sold to us, and why do we buy it? Why do all the management gurus and stuff like that tell us this and we believe it? It's not true. This is true. It's the same road. We just have to be careful where we go. Right? And why don't we believe this? Why don't you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, no, it can't be. So we're afraid of failure to the point where this doesn't even ring true anymore. And it's not fair, because this is the truth. And so now I'm going to make you laugh for a little bit.
And close your eyes and just fall down, okay? Don't worry.
Okay, then Lauren's going to catch you.
Close your eyes. Okay.
Okay, it's called the trust fall. Okay, trust fall. Ready, set, go.
Of course, this had to fail. Okay, so you can imagine what happens. Okay, I don't know what happens. It doesn't matter. So you can imagine what happens, right? She falls forward. Her friend is waiting for her to fall back. And all of a sudden, we have the F spot, which is the fail spot. And this is I show this video a lot because you didn't even see it and you laughed, which is interesting. The F spot is the spot from which, if we keep on doing what we're doing, we are sure to fail. But it is also the spot from which there is nothing you can do, right? So, 2 people in this video knew that she was going to fail, the dad and the little girl. The person failing, the other girl, the one that probably broke her teeth, she was failing and she was the only one that didn't know. You realize that? And the 2 people that saw that she was failing, what did they do? Nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. It's like a horror movie, an accident playing in slow motion, and you see it and you're going, whoa, but no, you can't get there on time. And this is a great metaphor for failure. When we go through it, we don't see it. We break our teeth on the floor, and that's when we know. We only know about failure after it happens, not before, not during. And normally, the people that know that we're going to fail, they can't do anything about it because it's too late. Do you know, actually, while we're on it, do you know why this failed? Do you know why this happened? Because the little girl gave instructions to her friend in front of her, and then she moved to the back. The girl with her eyes closed heard instructions coming from the front. So, of course, she was going to fall forward. But the little girl went to the back. And how many of us do this every day in our lives? We give instructions from the front and then move to the back and then go, oh, shit, it failed. Oh, well, this didn't go well. That was a crap idea. We're all really great at planning our successes. We're all really great at thinking what success means to us. So I'm sure that everyone here in this room probably has an idea of what success means to them. Do you have an idea of what failure is to you? Have you ever defined it? Have you ever thought about what it represents to you? What does it mean? We're afraid of failure, and we don't handle it very well, and we run from it, and we're scared shitless of it because we do not plan our lives according to attainable goals. It's like we're going around without a roadmap. There's no roadmap. We don't know where we're going. And then we're like Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter where you go. If you don't have a roadmap, how do you know that you're going the wrong way? If you don't have a roadmap, how do you know when you get there? How do you know when you get to your destination? How do you know that you're even going on the right track? If you go from here and you define what failure means to you, and it's a heartbreaking process, it is. And if you look back on your lives and think, oh shit, I failed there, and you're honest about it, you get your roadmap, and then you can use it in the future. And now getting back to all the culture and the artists and stuff like that. Tech people, please, speak to the artists in your life. Go talk to one. Or athletes, professional athletes. Professional athletes understand a lot about failure because they're the ones that they can lose a competition and the next morning they're up training again. Okay? They have a lot of mental stamina and a lot of resilience. Speak to athletes. They know what they're talking about. But we need the artists in the world. We need them so they can show us what could be. So they can show us what we might have, what we could have, and not only what is. Because we don't even know what is. No roadmap. And there's another reason why we need art and technology. Art is now used to make technology more human. This is an ad for a TV from LG. This is how they're selling TVs nowadays. They are art. It's bullcrap. It doesn't matter. It's a marketing thing. But they're still applying art to technology. And technology that completes art. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, this says my time is up. Oh, no problem. Okay. Okay. If there's one thing that you take from today, please let it be for you to go out and maybe do a little bit of research on all of human evolution. And you'll probably not see it, but it's written in between the lines. The majority of human evolution was made up of, oh shit moments, okay? Either, oh shit moments or, that's interesting, okay? So basically, humans evolved according to that premise. And they evolved according to that premise because somebody else came along and said, wait, let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens. Wait, not all is lost. Let's just take time to try it out. Let's see. I'm really sorry to tell you, but the future and most of the world's problems will probably be fixed by a tech guy or a tech girl that goes, oh shit, and then decides to keep going, and then decides to keep trying, and then decides to see where it will go. So please, go to your tech people, take them to the movies, give them chocolates and give them flowers. Whatever, take them for walks in the sun so they can get a little bit of color in their cheeks. Get them out of the culture of seeing only what's at their fingertips. Get them to look away from the screens that are filled with art and that are so beautiful. And get them to really look at the world. Give them a culture where they can be more open-minded, where they can look out of the boxes, destroy the boxes, set fire to the boxes. Take tech and give it to the world. And please, world, be kind, okay? Tech people, we know how they are, okay? It's fine. If you go from here and you decide to take on the heartbreaking process, the gut-wrenching process, the really difficult and painful process of looking back at your life and pinpointing exactly where you failed and defining what failure is to you, the only thing that you're going to get is a source of information for your future. Because if you think about it, failure is nothing more and nothing less than information. That's all it is, information. We're the ones that make it into a hairy monster. We're the ones that treat it really badly. We're the ones that make it out to seem as if the world is ending. Failure is information. And I hope that all the managers and stuff and people like that are here take that back to their companies. And don't fire people, okay? Failure is information. That's it. The rest we made up along the way. It's nothing more than that. So I hope you do go home, and I hope you do, take on the process of defining what failure means to you, and that you are able to get over it, and that you don't cry a lot, because it can be a little bit painful. But I hope you get through it. And that's it, basically. I'm glad you stayed. And if you want to talk to me about failure or Crocodile Dundee or something like that, there are my contacts. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Do you learn something about it, or do you just move on?
Oh, no, don't move on. No.
Just stay there about pain.
No. Okay, well, pain, talking about pain. We humans, we do something really funny with all our joys and with all the things that are really happy and great in our lives. Everybody says, oh, live it to the max. Oh, you have to hang on to that happiness for as long as you can. And then when it's painful, they say, no, forget about it. Don't think about it. No. And it's really weird because we should be living our pain to get over it, right? We should be living it out the same way we live happiness. When you fail, presuming that you know you failed, because you probably won't even know if you don't define it for yourself, when you fail, look at it, look at what failed. And I'll give you an insider trick now. This is a freebie. Ask why. Why did it fail? What failed? And why did it fail? And then you keep on asking why until you are really honest with yourself and you answer the questions honestly. And you keep on asking why until there are no more whys. Until you get to the heart of the why something failed. And then you learn from it, and that's it. It's easy. Ask why. You can take that back to your jobs and stuff. Oh, we failed this and that. Why? Why did it fail? Because it was sunny. Why was it sunny? Because it was hot. Why was it hot? And you keep on asking why, until there are no more whys to ask. Trust me, it works. There goes my consulting future. Done. You always get where? Sorry? Yeah. And that's the only way you're going to learn something. But when you get to the big bang of the why you failed, that's the only way you're going to learn. Because if you keep on making up excuses and you say, oh, this was a one-off. Oh, this was something that happened because it was rainy. Oh, this is something that happened because, I don't know, I didn't feel well that day. As long as you keep making up excuses, you're never going to learn from your failure. You're going to do what you said. Just forget about it. And what you forget, you don't learn. So when you do fail, and just like your successes, you should analyze and ask why, until you get to the heart of the question. And there you can learn from it. To either not do it again or to do it differently. That's your problem. Any more questions? Nobody wants me to recite some lines from Crocodile Dundee? No? That's not a knife. This is a knife. No. We're good? Seriously, I live 300 kilometers away. You take this opportunity now because I'm not from here. You're not going to find me to ask questions. Okay. Well, thank you for being here and have a great week. Oh, no, wait, that's a question.
When is the point that no matter how much you try, no matter how much you ask why, you're always going to have that failure? Even if you find that and you employ everything that you can think of, you still fail. When is that fail enough? Okay,
so you're talking about quitting. You're not talking about failure. You're talking about when do I know when to quit? That's a different question. How much pain can you take? How much money can you waste? How much time can you spend? Quitting has nothing to do with failure. Stopping what you're doing because it's no longer worth it, that has nothing to do with failure. Failure is not that. Failure, you can only fail in the first place if you have a goal and you know where you want to go. You fail if you don't get there with the means that you have and with all the actions that you had planned out. Okay, that's failure. The opposite of failure. What's the opposite of failure?
Winning?
The opposite of failure. Success? No. The opposite of success is insuccess. The opposite of failure is achievement. You either achieve or you fail. You don't achieve. Does this make sense?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, so what you were asking is, when do I know when to stop?
Pretty much so.
Yeah, I can't answer that. If it were my money, my time, I'd be able to answer that. You have to answer that. You have to be honest, and you have to be courageous, and you have to be really, really strong, and you have to look at what you're doing and analyze if it's worth doing anymore. Count your losses or keep going, but it's not failure. Quitting is not failing. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
There goes your weekend thinking, oh my God, quitting isn't failing. Any more questions? Oh, this is fun. I could just do this. Didn't have to bring a presentation. No more? Everybody's happy with their failures? You're proud of them? Thank you. Have a great weekend.